May I come in, sir?
Yes, to please come inside.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Please do sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Sachin must compliment you that you're very smartly dressed.
Thank you, sir.
Good job.
Thank you, sir.
That makes half of the battle won. Good personality. Very smartly turned out.
Thank you, sir.
Sachin, I realized that on 18th of this month you write your interview, or you finish your interview,
Yes, sir.
which means that you just have about 10 days in hand.
Yes, sir.
And by now, how many mocks have you given?
Sir, I have appeared in 7 to 8 mocks.
7 to 8 mocks. या तो 7 होंगी या 8 होंगी. 7 to 8 तो नहीं हो सकता है. So first lesson beta that you must remember is whenever somebody talks to you, learn to be specific.
Yes, sir.
That is one of the major attribute. What he's trying to see is, do you understand what is happening around you? If you are purposeful, if you are mindful in your personality, then you will exactly understand आपके साथ क्या हो रहा है. So please be very careful.
Yes.
Next time, do not give an answer which brings ambiguity.
Yes, sir.
Every answer should resolve ambiguity, not induce ambiguity.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है? One lesson. Okay, Sachin, I was quite impressed that you, like me, qualified for NDA and you passed your interview also, but you didn't join. What happened?
Sir, after my SSP, when I came back home, I really wanted to join it, but I had symptoms of pilonidal sinus.
Below?
Pilonidal sinus.
Sinus.
Hole at a tailbone.
Hmm.
So it was there during my 12th standard also, and after my interview when I came back, because I did not get enough time before that, so
Okay,
the doctor advised
okay.
me for a surgery.
Hmm.
And it took a very long time, so I had to take a temporary rejection, and then it was permanently rejected. Sir.
Oh, so you're permanently rejected on medical grounds. Okay, that's good. That's not bad. That's not a problem at all. So I'm quite impressed also that you're keen, though you didn't join the Defense Academy, but you're keen on self-defense. So tell me, and you've been helping people in self. Tell me 2 points that are weak in any human being that if you have to ensure self-defense, 2 points that we should strike at. 1 and 2.
Sir, first point is to avoiding any kind of aggression.
That is तो छोड़ दो. अभी पूछ रहे हैं लड़ाई करने की.
And second would be, sir, situational awareness. If there is anything nearby which could be used, because it depends.
कहाँ मारे? डंडा है, मेरे पास हाथ है. कहाँ मारे?
Sir, it is.
That's what I'm asking.
Sir, it is to be groin area, sir.
Groin area.
Yes, sir.
If the person who is assaulting is a woman, then groin area does not work.
Sir, it does not work. Then it would be, sir, eyes and very vulnerable areas, sir.
What is the second vulnerable area?
Sir, it would be eyes, neck, nose.
Please be specific next time. Remember this. You've been reading self-development books. Very good. It empowers us to be better individual. Tell me 2 qualities that you learned from these books, self-development books.
Sir, the present book that I'm reading is The Courage to be Disliked. And the quality that I learned from this book is that a lot of times our actions are not the end result. A lot of times our actions are a means.
Qualities. Let's not get into semantics. I'm asking qualities. क्या सीखे हो?
Sir, then quality would be, sir, recognition that we all lack something. And then trying to improve that in terms of atomic habit. Small improvements that could be taken up. Like last year I started small steps, such as if one wants to read a book, then he has to.
Okay, good. My last question to you would be, I make a statement that development is a sure shot road to destruction. When I see what is happening in the developed countries, there's a huge demographic shift and there's huge amount of destability in these countries. Your take on it.
Sir, my take would be, sir, development is not necessarily a destruction. Mostly, the development ensures peace, because even if we take last 100 years, we'll recognize that most of the years have been peaceful years. Even though there have been instability, but in comparison to previous 100 years, most of these years have been peaceful years.
Okay, we'll cut it short here. But if you're putting yourself into bigger trouble, in last 100 years we had 2 world wars. So please understand what you say. Be cognizant of when you make these great statements.
Yes.
We had two world wars, and we had two nuclear bombs also dropped during this time. So world has never been peaceful. समझिएगा क्या बोल रहे हैं? प्रश्न कहाँ है? आप कहाँ से चले जाते हैं? Understand? Restrain yourself.
Yes, sir.
All yourself.
Well,
I enjoyed interacting with you. Good job.
Thank you, sir.
Sachin, you had been a student leader, but in few of the states, say the adjoining state Haryana, government has banned student election simply on the ground that it spoils our student, their discipline as well. Do you agree with it?
Sir, since I was also student leader, I would disagree with that statement because I believe that student elections are necessary to develop students as wholesome citizens. And also Supreme Court has directed that all institutions are required to conduct student body elections.
So how it helped you in developing your personality?
Sir, first would be sir leadership quality that I gained from being a student leader. Second would be sir communication because I was there in Delhi when I became a student leader. I had to communicate with a cosmopolitan ecosystem in my college. Third would be sir recognition of problems of students. And if I just extrapolate that, not just students, also subjects in the college. So recognition of problem also help. And then in student politics, sir, the funds are very meager. So how to work around very meager funds, that also I learned from student politics.
You fought for the farm issues.
Yes, sir.
Farm issue means the farmer's issue.
Sir, farm issue in mostly in terms of farmer also, but also supply chain and economics.
These days we are listening the hue and cry on the part of the farmers. What are major demands?
Sir, there are two major demands. First would be legalization of MSP, and second is sir implementation of Swaminathan recommendations, Swaminathan committee recommendations of C2 plus 50%.
What do you mean by 50%?
Sir, it is C2 is the comprehensive cost.
That is okay.
And
Why they are asked for 1.5 time? Why?
Sir, they are asking that 50% should be given over and above the comprehensive cost.
Why 50%? Why not 75%? Why not 25%? Any idea? Why they are asking more?
Sir, the demand is to get the fair remunerations from the farmer's side, but the government is not accepting this demand.
Okay, the last question. What will happen if we stop procuring wheat and rice?
Sir, the immediate effect would be first the rise in prices, because a lot of crop and the wheat and rice that government procures goes to the PDS system, and most of after that also it goes to Bharat brand that government has set up for wheat and rice for containment of prices. First would be increase in prices. Second immediate effect would be again sir, because private sector does not have enough warehouses in the country, so the procurement will decline and the farm remunerations will decline in the immediate effect. But at the same time, in the long run, there is also need for government to restrain itself from procuring this much amount of wheat and rice.
I fail to understand. Repeat. Government?
At the same time, government will have to restrain itself from procuring this much amount of
This
wheat and
much means government should procure the quantity less what it is being procured now.
Sir, if in terms of farm issues, it would be sir, government should procure the quantity that is reasonable only, so that private sector also takes lead in that sense.
The government always it goes for the procurement to the reasonable extent only. What will government do? The 30 to 40% is spoiled in the godowns. Still government is doing. Is government fool?
No, sir. The government is moving in terms of most of these are consumer-driven policies of the government. For example, last year in February 2023, when prices were much above MSP, government unloaded a lot of wheat in the market, so the prices come below the MSP, but it was not directed for MSP, but in control of inflation. So if government procures a lot of food grains and then it gives away a lot of food grains, then government ensures consumer inflation reduces, but at the same time farm remunerations also take a hit.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Sir, your candidate.
ये सचिन का मतलब क्या है?
Sir, in Hindu mythology it is the Shiva, and yes.
और लड्डू सा
Sir, it is my village, sir, native village where I was born and brought up, sir.
मतलब क्या है?
Sir, as such it is, Ladu sir came from Laddus because there is a temple, Gusai Ji ka temple, which is very famous around the place. So there Laddus are very famous.
और पिलानी
Sir, Pilani as such, the name comes from native people who used to live there. Pilanias.
झुंझुनू
Sir, Jhunjhunu comes from a Jat leader, Junjar Singh. He was a commander.
you studied from Hindu college.
Yes.
EMU has a problem. Why Hindu college has no problem?
Sir, I would like.
EMU has a problem regarding minority status. How Hindu college is different?
Sir, Hindu college is not a minority institution.
That I know.
AMU has a problem because central government filed an affidavit in Supreme Court saying that central universities should not have minority status.
But can Hindu college say that we'll admit only Hindus?
No, sir. Hindu college is not a minority institution, so it has to admit.
So where did it get its name, Hindu?
Sir, this
Who
name
named it?
came during the British period because the college was established in 1899. So British had established certain colleges which were only focusing on British children and Indo-British. So Hindu as such name came from everybody who lived in the east of Indus River. So it is open to everyone.
So Britishers called it Hindu college.
Sir, it was called by the origin where origin happened. The Hindu was named because it wanted to take care of all the Hindustani students.
Now can you name two student leaders who have become good politicians?
Yes, sir. First would be, sir, with Honorable Arun Jaitley, sir. He was the president of Delhi University. Then second would be, sir, our present Home Minister Amit Shah. He was also active in Gujarat University.
Okay. Since you are from a village, can you name three schemes which have made a difference in your area? Government of India schemes of last 1 decade which have made a difference in your area.
Sir, I would name, first would be, sir, Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme, which was launched from Jhunjhunu itself. Second would be, sir, PM Poshan Yojana, which was also launched from Jhunjhunu itself. And then third, I would say, sir, it would be Samriddhi Shiksha Yojana.
There is no such scheme called Samriddhi Shiksha.
Sorry, sir. Sir,
And
then,
Beti Bachao was not
Panipat.
launched from Jhunjhunu. It was launched from Panipat.
sir, the second phase of Beti Bachao Beti Padhao Yojana was launched from Jhunjhunu in 2018, sir.
And third scheme you can't tell. So has anything happened regarding cleanliness?
Swachh Bharat scheme, sir. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan.
Has it made a difference in your village?
Sir, certainly it has made in the sense that now Jhunjhunu also has one water filtration plant, and also it has removed the dumping sites, and now it has constructed the entire dumping site has been reconstructed into a bus stop. So these are two major things that happened, and now waste collection has improved in the district.
So what is ODF plus?
Sir, ODF plus would be when nobody is open defecation free, the entire place is open defecation free, and also there is clean water, clean water which is being supplied to the houses, and tap water available to the houses.
And ODF plus plus?
Sir, I am not aware.
Okay, just check it up.
Yes,
But
sir.
you have a lovely smile, keep it on.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Sachin, are you aware that India has cut its budget to the UN? I believe it's cut its budget to the UN. But At the same time, it wants to be a permanent security council member. How to reconcile this stance?
Ma'am, India's stance to become a permanent member is based on the fact that India is one of the largest democracy and it represents more than 1.4 billion population. And also, Global South does not have any say in the permanent. There are no members from Global South in the permanent membership. And at the same time, India's track record also says that because India has been the part of UN Security Council 8 times, and its last presidency was also in 2022. And at the same time, I am not aware of why India cut UN budget.
And it has huge ambitions, right? You think that the UN is still relevant today? This very fragmented, polarized world.
Ma'am, I would like to reiterate the answer of Mr. S. Jayanagara, our Foreign Minister. He said that saying that UN is non-relevant would be a stretch of words, because United Nations has shown its relevance not just in these two wars. There is a way forward because we need to reform our veto power allocation which has been provided. But at the same time, if we look at other ways, humanitarian, social, also trade aspects, then UN has shown a huge silver lining to the entire world. And in these cases also, humanitarian aid has been provided by United Nations.
In these two current ongoing conflicts, it's been totally ineffective.
Ma'am,
Agree with me or no?
Ma'am, I agree in the sense that there is need for reforms in United Nations. And in these two conflicts also, the veto power is being shown that it requires reforms, because in Israel-Palestine, United States is vetoing all the resolutions, and in Russia-Ukraine war, Russia and China are vetoing all the resolutions.
So you were a guest speaker at a model United Nations. So what was your stance on the Israeli-Palestine conflict?
Ma'am, my stance was similar to India's stance, that is, the two-state solution is the only solution that would bring peace to the regions.
Elaborate on that.
Ma'am, it would be that both the states must be coexisting peacefully together at the same time.
Do you see that happening?
Ma'am, it is very difficult to predict in the sense that at present both the parties require a leadership shift, where the leadership is able to accept the two-state solutions. So there are elections due in Israel also. At the same time, Palestinian authorities recently resigned. So there is requirement of Hamas leadership to change also, which could change the present Hamas leadership, which is accepting this, and at the same time in Israel also, a leadership which accepts this.
But both would be interested in the war continuing, right? Both sides. Would you say that?
Ma'am, if we look at the media reports, then Benjamin Netanyahu is losing support at the ground from his own country. So if the elections are to be conducted today, then there are chances that the government will change, the coalition will change. So Israel is now doing incursions into Lebanon also. So yeah, according to media reports, it seems that both the parties are willing for the war to sustain. But if we look at United States, then we'll find that US wants immediate action, because again US elections are impending in November.
And this is my last question. Is Hamas a terrorist outfit?
Ma'am, I would say that the actions could be terrorist, but India's stance is India has not designated Hamas as a terrorist organization, because
What do you think? Do you think it is a terrorist organization?
Ma'am, I think the military wing of Hamas, Al-Qassam, the actions that it did and the conventional definition that we have of terrorism, that could be called as a terrorist organization. But at the same time, nor United Nations have declared it as a terrorist organization, neither India. Thank you.
Are you familiar with Central Asia?
Yes, sir. Some.
And how many countries are there in Central Asia?
Sir, I'm not sure of the exact numbers, sir.
Are you familiar with Shanghai Cooperation Organization?
Yes, sir.
Right? So we had a summit meeting with us. So what is the importance of Central Asia for India?
Yes, sir. First would be a trade route to Europe that could pass through Central Asia. Second would be gas pipelines, Tapi gas pipeline that we had. Third would be, sir, uranium reserves are there in Kazakhstan. These are the important. Other would be, sir, cultural significance that Central Asia also has Buddhist monuments and Kanishk rule also spread to Central Asia. So cultural significance.
Anything else politically the way they are governed?
Sir, I'm not sure of that.
Okay. Tell me Maldives, right? Do you think that India has handled the development that Maldives after military power? They have handled it well.
Sir-
Or they could have handled it better.
Sir, I feel that we have handled it well in the sense that we followed our policy of non-interference and also gave ample space to our neighbors, Maldives. And such as when Maldives wanted our military personnels to come back to India, India agreed to that and sent our civilian personnels. So India followed its historical policy of Gujarat doctrine of non-interference.
That doesn't seem to be wise. They are asking you to go and you just go.
Sir, because our neighbors are very important in terms of our relations. So we have to maintain cordial relations with our neighbors.
By being pushed around.
Sir, at the same time, India is not just focusing on the government, people to people connect, India is focusing more. So that even if the government changes, India is having a goodwill amongst the individuals of the country.
How would it assess our relations with China?
Sir, I would assess that China could be a complicated adversary at the same time. So we have huge trade relations with China. The recent number shows that our trade relation with China is over $130 billion. But at the same time, there is trade deficit with China also, around 100 billion. And then we are also cooperating China. There are new avenues where we could cooperate with China, such as climate change policies, where we are able to cooperate with China. And also multilateralism, where we are able to cooperate with China. We are parts of BRICS and also SCO, both are members of that. And at the same time, India and China are continuing its relations with the other BRICS nations with the same intensity. But there are a lot of areas of friction also. Like China is building its military bases in the Indian Ocean and also string of pearls, and then China's BRI that was passing through our Kashmir region. So there are a lot of friction areas also with China.
Why don't you just invest in Taiwan politically, overt relationship with Taiwan? Because they do everything to Pakistan. What is the problem?
Sir, first would be, sir, India historically have followed non-interference in the domestic sphere. Second would be India has accepted one China policy. So India accepts one China policy. In that sense, we would like to be away from the hotspot of conflicts at the present moment.
But if they are causing us so much trouble and anxiety, everything can change, right? Nothing is happening.
But the South China Sea and Taiwan, China, and with the involvement of USA, it has become quite a hotspot at the present moment. And China is saying that it will do everything to gain over Taiwan by 2027. So involvement of India in that sense could be detrimental to India, which could directly put India into the mouth of conflicts.
I just feel, I'm not asking that you something to think about. What do you think Taiwan thinks about Kashmir or Assam? Think about it.
Yes.
Do they follow the map of People's Republic of China or do they support India?
Okay. Yes.
So Sachin, we come to the end of the interview.